Hey, Stephanie here with the Busy Boss Mama. So, I totally lost it the other day. And if you are a mom that's like, I feel like I'm gonna break, I want to share some thoughts with you because I kind of did break the other day. Not proud of it. But sometimes we need a wake-up call, right? So, I'm not gonna go on like a big sob story of my own life right now. Just, there's a lot going on, right? And I think we all have these times where there's so much going on that sometimes as moms we feel forced to be superwoman. And I don't know about you, but some people have said that about me before, like, you're superwoman. In fact, someone said it yesterday, you're superwoman. My husband makes the joke sometimes. He's like, I don't know where she hides her cape. And at first I was like, oh, that's kind of a compliment. And then it just pissed me off. I was like, I don't want to be effing superwoman. Like, I am ready to break. I'm not superwoman. It's just that I have so many things to do and so many other people's responsibilities to take care of that there's no other choice but to go forward and do the things. And so, do I get a lot of shit done? Yes, I do. I get a lot done. But do I handle it well? Not always. I don't handle it well always. So just a quick backstory. My husband and I own a trucking company as well. So I have my Busy Boss Mama business with my sister, Crystal, which you know if you follow us at all. And then my husband and I have a trucking company. And we're trying to expand right now and get a couple more trucks. And I run all of my husband's business stuff too, and homeschool all the kids. We've got 6 kids, so it's a lot. And I'm working on this SBA loan for the trucking company to get a few more trucks. And I don't know, I didn't know anything about SBA loans really. I heard they were a lot of work. Dude, it's like going back to college. Like, I feel like I'm preparing like a senior capstone or something. It's insane how much time it's taken, but whatever, it doesn't matter. That on top of getting homeschooling stuff ready, running my own business, it's just too much. And the other night, I was trying to focus on getting some things done for this, paperwork stuff. And my kids were just pecking at each other, just fighting. And I'm like, you guys, please stop. Please stop. They wouldn't stop. I snapped. Anyway, it just was ugly. It was just an ugly situation. Like, the ugly thing about it wasn't like snapping at my kids, because I didn't like freak out at the kids too bad or anything. It was just me snapping inside and having this breakdown of like, I can't do this. This is too much. And I realized all this stuff that's on my plate is causing a lot of emotional stress that comes out in ways that's not fair to the kids. And we all see this, whether it's a big break or a little break. And I've heard over the last few years, like, even just moms talking about stories about how, like, they had a grandma or a mom or something that ended up checking themselves into a mental hospital when they were little. And moms feeling like, dang it, sometimes I want to do that because it would just be a freaking break, And so it's not. And I think when we do have those feelings, we feel like crap. Like, dude, I can't even handle my life. I must just be a total, what's wrong with me? But you know what? When you're willing to be vulnerable enough to share the feelings that you have with other friends and stuff, you find that life isn't always what people put on social media, right? As this perfect thing. We all have these feelings sometimes where life feels like it's too much. And it's okay that those things happen, because sometimes I think they're wake-up calls to what needs to change in our life, right? And for me, that's what it was. And it took me like a really good cry to feel sorry for myself about how hard things are right now and blah, 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 and all the things. And then I reached out in vulnerability to a couple of my nearest and dearest, one of them being my sister Crystal. And because one of her assets that she has is problem solving, and it just took a little, like, okay, commiserating, complain, cry, and then, okay, let's come up with a solution. And she gave me a great solution that, hello, sometimes these are things that, sometimes the solution to things are not hard. They're not hard solutions, but sometimes when you're stuck in your own mess, you can't come out of that enough to think about a solution. And this is where I think people end up getting really depressed, is where you sit in this space of sadness, frustration, and overwhelm, and and that's okay to be there for a period of time. And it doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid. It doesn't mean that you're hysterical, but you have to come to a point of shift. And I think that personal growth, one of the tenets of personal growth, or one of the signs of personal growth, is when you start to notice how fast you can shift out of those feelings of despair, frustration, and overwhelm into problem-solving mode, and finding a solution to the problem and making a resolution to do something different tomorrow. And so when you get in these places, like what my sister told me to do, and it seems so obvious, is like, okay, the SBA loan is what it is. I want to get it done now, because obviously the faster it gets done, the faster it will get, we'll be able to close it and all that stuff. But the reality is that there's only so much of me to go around. My kids have been sitting in front of a TV, just being like babysat by a screen while I get this stuff done. And that's what's frustrating to me, is I can't do this anymore. So don't do it anymore. Set aside a timer, like make time, decide how much time you're going to spend on this loan, and still make sure that there's time to do the things at home, because things keep piling on. It's like I finish one thing and then the loan lady lets me know 15 other things that need to be done. Congratulations, the loan's approved. Now these are only the documents you need for closing. And I'm thinking, I'm almost done. And then it's like 50 more things. And this happens with all of us with life. You think you're done with something, and then you pile on all these things. So you might have a lot going on right now, and you think, oh, if we just get through this season or through this time, or I'm going to be done with this project or whatever, guess what? Something else is going to come up as soon as you're done with that project. It's just how it is. It's just the nature of the beast with this season of life, especially if you have several kids, is that there's just always something happening. Something's going on with the kids, someone gets sick, whatever, like there's going to be something. And so you have to learn to manage those things and learn to juggle effectively. And multitasking is not effective. It doesn't work very well. So it's just a matter of me sitting down for my personal situation and being like, all right, I'm going to spend these couple hours working on this thing. If the SBA loan takes me a week to finish all these documents or whatever, then it does. But I need to have the time that I need for my business still, which isn't selfish. Like, I need to spend the time I need for my business, to spend the time that I need with my kids. And so I have to stay true to those boundaries around my time and my mental space, my emotional energy, and all those things. So when you're feeling really, really overwhelmed, it's okay to break for a minute. It's okay to break for a minute and get upset, but then sit down and see how fast you can shift into problem-solving mode and figure out what you can do to change the situation to where you can manage and put boundaries around whatever it is that you need to put boundaries around. And hopefully that will help at least feel a little bit more sense of control, so that you can handle all the things that you have going on in your life. So hopefully that story helps you. And if you want more tips and to kind of stay up with what we're doing as far as managing better habits, better time management, all the mom things, visit us at busybossmama.com. Talk to you later.